Square's upcoming RPG Kingdom Hearts has taken characters and locations from numerous Disney movies, brought in a few faces of Square's own, and come up with a potential winner. Kingdom Hearts features lavish locations, plenty of exploration and an awful lot to see, as well as an attention to detail and sparkling polish that befits one of the world's leading game developers. Furthermore, whilst Square games have always graphically been excellent, fusing their talents with 9 Disney worlds has really allowed them to go to town. Frankly, it seems no expense has been spared, and visually this is easily one of the most striking games to date on the PS2. Despite the Disney worlds, parts of the game are really quite dark. The player controls a Square-created character called Sora, who is effectively on a rescue mission, seeing as a familiar King Mickey has gone missing. However, along the way they have to deal with creatures known as the Heartless. These soul-stealing critters are from a different dimension and can easily change their form. As well as interacting with a large cast and exploring the similarly bountiful worlds, there's also combat to consider. You'll also need to wrap your head around all things magical, especially when the very large and very hard boss characters appear. Assuming nothing goes drastically wrong with the translation, Kingdom Hearts is a very bright entry on this year's Christmas release schedules. Aggressive Inline may just turn out to be the best extreme sports title that doesn't feature the word Tony in the title. It's all about rollerblading, or inline skating as the boys like to call it. Developer Z-Access has included plenty of acrobatic moves and features, and it has added elements that actually improve on the usual extreme sports game structure. For a start, when you come off a ramp and it looks like you're going to land with your ribs as a cushion, a quick tap on the circle button will shift your weight to land on your feet. Or if you're speeding at right angles towards a wall, players can now vault over it. You can skitch behind moving vehicles for speed, and cess slides, switching your body so you're travelling arse first, link pipe tricks to ground and manual tricks. Riding and grinding backwards scores higher but is slower. However, it's essential for top-ranking scores. But the biggest difference between this and other extreme sports titles is that there's no time limit as such. Instead, you have a juice meter that needs to be continually topped up by performing tricks. Let it hit rock bottom and it's game over. Get the juice meter super topped up and you'll be leaving a trail of flames and tearing up the huge environments like Godzilla. Aggressive Inline is very well designed, it looks very good, and it's a whole lot of fun to play. There's a lot here to keep the most hardened extreme sports veteran going for a long time. We reviewed the Japanese version of Namco's fight classic Tekken 4 last issue and gave it a whopping 9 out of 10, but we thought you'd like to see some footage of the fighters in full-blooded action. You name the fighting style and Tekken has got it. Taekwondo, ninja, boxing, wrestling, they're all here. Each fighter has a distinct style and suits a different fighting technique, be it close punches, leaping and charging attacks, powerful specials, or constant quick jabs. There's no problem executing any of the characters' moves once you've learned the combos. By including 25 different fighters, it crushes any other competition. It puts Virtua Fighter 4 to shame. The arenas and locations for the fights differ in size. Some are cramped and claustrophobic, allowing you to trap your opponent in a corner and deliver some serious fist-based justice. Others are wide open to allow for plenty of cartwheeling and kick dodging. They all look amazing. In fact, the whole game is graphically outstanding. It's just so slick, vibrant and gorgeous in every aspect that you'll be begging your mates to come round and have a look. Add in a story mode with entertaining cutscenes and the Tekken Force beat-em-up sub-game, and Tekken 4 will be September's shining star, as long as Namco delivers a decent UK version. The Scooby reruns are on the box and the movie is out any day, but soon you'll get the chance to see Scooby Doo back with Daphne, Velma, Shaggy and Fred on your PS2. The main pleasure in playing Night of 100 Frights is that it's just so much like the cartoon series. As you goof along, bats come shrieking out of cupboards, pictures on the wall move, and there's even canned laughter for Scooby and Shaggy's bad jokes. The flip side to all of this is that if you don't want to share in the nostalgia, you may just find the gameplay as predictable as your average Scooby plotline. You play as Scooby, while the rest of the guys and girls tag along. The 12 levels of this platformer are based upon specific episodes of the cartoon series, set within 4 worlds. These archetypal spooky locations, a cave, a mansion and a graveyard, are littered with Scooby snacks, other power-ups and equipment to help the dog foil the evil mastermind's plans. Attach springs to Scooby's paws and the pooch will jump higher. Or stick a football helmet on his head and he's a canine battering ram. These Scooby modifications are essential to get through the game, and they look pretty funny too. Given the choice between playing this game or watching the upcoming movie, we'd stick to the game. It may turn out to be just a curiosity though. This creaky little number has crept up on the PS2 just when the time is ripe for another survival horror game. Already hailed as the video game equivalent of the Blair Witch Project, Project Zero uses all the tricks of the trade employed in the best horror movies to make sure you're feeling as unnerved as possible. The suspense slowly builds from the beginning and draws you right into the game. You'll begin play as the heroine Miku's brother, a journalist who visits the Himura mansion to research 3 grisly murders. Once something nasty happens to the lad, you'll take over as Miku, who follows her own suspicions and goes to investigate. Firstly, this game is dark. You've only got a torch or moonlight to expose the things that go bump in the night. And when things do go bump, the controller's force feedback contributes brilliantly towards the mounting tension. You become involved in a mix of puzzles and quests, but exploration and discovery will be mixed in with big shocks. However, don't expect running shootouts. These ghosts, surprisingly gore-free, will flash in and out of sight just often enough to threaten strangulation, mutilation, or worse. The only way to fight off the ghouls is with a camera, and the more dead you photograph, the more is revealed of what went on in the house. We all love a good scare, and until Silent Hill 3 comes along, this will do very nicely. Fireblade is a big, fast helicopter shoot-'em-up that throws you right into the middle of it all and makes no apologies about its ethics. There's never a quiet moment, with massive explosions, screaming soldiers, wailing cattle, and machine gun fire filling the game. Each mission has a number of objectives, most of which involve blowing stuff up. As well as the in-your-face combat, there are also some more subtle missions, although nothing in Fireblade is very subtle. With the flick of a switch, your helicopter becomes transparent to indicate stealth mode. There's a lot of detail in Fireblade. Trees sway as they get caught in the helicopter's downwash, and birds scatter. As for weapons, the sniper cannon is something else. Players can zoom in on infantry and shoot off their limbs in a burst of blood. In fact, most of the little details revolve around death and destruction, which is good. Oil tankers bleed fossil juice from bullet holes, soldiers are launched in different directions as a rocket hits home, and trucks flip and spin in flaming explosions. With 18 missions split over 5 campaigns in the Alps, desert, oil fields, jungle and the Arctic, there should be plenty of terrain variation. Although there's a story floating around somewhere, it's mainly as an excuse to justify the complete annihilation of every enemy on the map, which gets our vote every time. It might be an old-fashioned style of play, but it works well. Destruction, guns, bloody casualties. Eat shoot 'em up death, you yellow-bellied terrorist scum!